What's cracking, guys? Welcome back to Clash with Barndo. Tonight I'm going to be going over a organised war with Above and Beyond. I do leave my Barndo 05 account in the Above and Beyond clan. We've got a pretty good arrangement. They use my account when they need an extra number for their wars, otherwise they just sit me out if they've got different numbers. So it works out well for everyone, and when we come and do these organised wars I get to take part and be a part of it. And just amazing to open my eyes to some of the things that are there. My clan personally, we're a little bit behind, and we would like to start stepping into these wars, obviously not against such high opponents, but Above and Beyond Invictus Prime, so 2-star loss, a couple of percentage points to go with it. Now a lot to go through, and I'll try and wrap it up as best I can, but overall the big difference was the Town Hall 9s, just plain and simple. So you can see they got three stars on our Town Hall 10s. Unfortunately for Barndo 81B, they got me with the Town Hall 10. So I had some pointers on Clan Castle changing and a few buildings I can see I can move some things around. But yeah, it's unfortunate to go down to a 10. You want to hope that you're sucking up those Town Hall 11 attacks at least. But some things I want to go through the list. For their Town Hall 9s, they had 12 Town Hall 9s, one first attack 3 stars. Compare that to our 9. So there was a few there, but then from there they also had 10 Town Hall 9s hitting Town Hall 10s. So they absolutely smashed us early. The Town Hall 10s knew that they had smashed them early, so they could then run 3-star attempts on our bases a lot earlier than us, and just gave them such a huge advantage. So for them, you know, like, it was just awesome. So other things to point out were the fact that for us, for our Town Hall 9s, we did need the 1 Town Hall 10 hit down, but yeah, it's just there was a real disappointing sort of thing. Some of their bases for the opponents, we had 20 attacks required to kill 5 of their bases. So there was some really funny defences. You can see there, number 5, 5 attacks. Then there was another 24, took 4 attacks. 25 took 3 attacks. And then 5 on their number 30. In an organised war, you just can't have that kind of stuff. So, you know, there's a lot of learning curves for Above and Beyond. I think they came really close. Hulk did miss his last attack due to the times and all these kinds of things, but it's really hard to push your top attackers, your number 1 and your number 2, your Town Hall 11s, to do last minute attacks, and it did sort of help there. But even if Hulk did get a 3-star on their number 4, we would have lost the water percentage because they did have a big hit on Ripper, 96%. He was very close. So a lot of replays and stuff to go through. But overall, I think it was a pretty good stand from Above and Beyond. But you've got to give credit to Invictus Prime. They are a first-rate clan, and absolutely amazing and just exciting to be a part of. One thing I did want to do is a shout-out to our 6-star attackers, and we had 4, whereas the opponents had 8. So they doubled us in 6-star attackers, and we look at Sir Hamish, Sharkbait. Now they were all clean-ups, so that was good. So he's got them there. Then you've got Scientist and TVDB. So out of those guys, TVDB had 6 clean stars. So that was 2 first attack 3 stars. So I'm going to go over both of those, along with obviously my other attacks. So I do have a list. Sorry, I don't know if you hear the paperwork in the background. But what I want to show first is Steve's attack on their number 3. Let's just make sure I've got my sound on. I'll just pause 1 second. Okay, sorry, so I just had to swap out there and make sure my sound was turned on. So, yeah, number 3. So this was their top Town Hall 10. It did have, I think it was somewhere like a 79% first hit from PB, who did a Golaloon. And that in itself was a good save for the 2-star, a good 3-star attempt, but he managed to save the 2, which was cool. But then Steve's come in and absolutely smashed it afterwards. So you see his army there. He's gone for a strong witch contingent with a Queen Walk. So He's only got the 4 earthquakes, but then the jump, and just a brilliant raid all round. Obviously, the opponents, they had good attacks as well, 3-starring some bases at the same time, and then very close to a 4th. So these kinds of wars, that's where it's won. It's won from the Town Hall 10s, and if you force them to attack at the very last minute, it's just not going to help anyone. So definitely a lot smoother for them on their Town Hall 9s, but that's all learning. We're all going to pick things up from it. You see the Queen, she's going to go off, and she's got the 4 healers on her. She's clearing through the point defences, only really 2 point defences at a time apart from that extra one, and he uses the ability. So that way he's saved needing any spells up there, which is just perfect, and managed to have the Queen clean up absolutely shitloads. Ability there, good use. That Inferno is causing a fair bit of damage at the same time as the Hound still being up and drawing the fire. So he's trying there. And then that last jump, you just see that open up the centre to that last remaining main cell. So now the Queen catches up, she starts hitting into the midfield, and it's all over from there because the Queen's got the 4 healers on her no matter what, as long as he's got a couple of other troops for the DPS. But it was just a good attack all round. Steve seems to be one of the big hitters in here, and it's something that we can all learn from as Town Hall 11s. Witches are definitely where it's at, in my opinion. And of course, we've had released today news that the Eagle defense is going to be doing triple damage to golems, so that's going to change. And the people that are still using the golem armies, I myself do still use them for a Town Hall 10 hitting up, but the golem armies are going to become obviously a lot weaker. So this was Steve's attack versus our number 6. Now it did have, I think it was 2 attacks on this base, a Town Hall 10 3-star attempt. Then Hulk had a crack, missed it, and then Steve's come through and smashed it afterwards. So very similar army. Looks pretty bloody close to what it was the first time. So he's using these similar armies and just smashing out bases. So it's 2 golems, 8 witches. Good herding for the Queen there to push her the way he wanted to go. His wall breakers did miss at the start, but he did have those extras to get him in, and that's what you need. You need to make sure you're taking enough wall breakers to be able to have a few misfires. So he's used that ability first to get through that first Inferno. Now he'll rage, get through all these core defences, and he won't do the freeze straight away. He'll hold that back. There you go. Well-timed freeze. Allows his witches to catch up a little bit. Allows those skellies to also catch up and be the soakers for that. And you just see Expos have got no chance versus witches anymore. They just can't kill them quick enough. And with that Max Warden, I mean, I personally got level 19 on mine today, so it'd be nice to have that finished off finally. But brilliant raid, Steve. 6-star war. Yeah, it's pretty hard to compete with that. Excellent work, Steve. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show all the first attempt 3 stars from the Town Hall 9s. I'm going to skip my attack on 11 as I did show that in my live. There's no real point to go over it now. It was a Queen Walk, Shattered Go Hog. It's quite funny. It's worth a watch. I had a bit of a laugh on the rewatch. But let's start with then number 12. And this was Chief Treb's attack. And he's gone in with a Queen Walk and a Go the Hose second part. So just looking at my list of the bases. 2, 4, 6. So of the 9 first hit 3 stars, 7 of them have been Queen Walk based. So it's an interesting stat to look at, I guess. Now what I liked about this was you see Trev use the Queen's ability there, so he's assessed it. That's what he's wanted to do. He's not wanted to use a rage. He's held on to that rage for later, and it's brilliant. It's one of those things that if you can assess in your walks, and you know sometimes if there's an emergency, bang, you can pop it down. But if not, it saves that spell for your kill squad. Very close to get those healers there. Poor old Queenie trying to catch up to that dragon. So he's done well with the herding. You see that Queen now, she's going to go in, and those air defences won't play too much of a role versus her healers. And the healers wouldn't be able to take much damage either, seeing as they've got blown on by the dragon. So nice heal for his Valks there. They've got a fair bit to go through. They've got a bit of splash. They've taken a giant bomb. Good use of a couple of hogs there, just to help clear out that middle stuff, keep his group moving along. So you just see that surgical use of those hogs there. He's not smashing a heap down, he's holding on to them, but they're helping go through. He's still got his King's ability. The King will get held up now, but it's pretty much over from there. Still keeps his 4 hogs, so absolutely selective with where he's used them. He wasn't rushed. He made that look brilliant. Good raid. Alright, so I'm going to show TVDB's next 2. And that was on number 13 first. Now he's gone in with very similar armies. Queen Walks with Go Hog contingent. I think he only uses the Cold-Blooded, so he uses the Clan Castle Golem, and that seems to be the style I've seen from the 2 raids. A couple of witches in the kill squad. You don't see witches in kill squads too often. It's pretty cool. And even some goblin love. Always keep in mind your goblins do more DPS than wizards when they're obviously hitting resource buildings. 4 healers, couple minions for a bit of a herd. Now you see where he's placed that Queen. Those healers should be pretty safe from definitely the air defense to the left. But yeah, the hog goes in to start off with. That's to draw the Clan Castle. It's only a hound, so that's good. He's on the walk. I'm not too sure why he used his poison there. I don't think there was a need at that stage. There you go, he's used the second one now to help with the pups. Probably could have put an archer down to help those healers. I think his Queen will turn around though. No, she's ignoring it. So you do see now the hound's getting pushed, the healer's getting pushed back. Queen's still ignoring those pups. So those pups got 2 healers. But where he's used it, he's still survived. And how he's herded there on his kill squad, that's now going to push the Queen into the middle, which actually helps his raid. Still got quite a few hogs left. 14, 2 heals. Still got DPS cleanup units left. Queen's still alive. She's not going to have any more issues from any air defences causing them to problems. So it's just a simple matter of putting your hogs out. Very nice split on those giant bombs there. And that's all she wrote. So you can see quite a few errors in that raid, but he's gone in with what looks to be a familiar army for himself. Even shit, you can go back and watch my attack on number 11, and I made so many mistakes in that, and the Queen went the entirely wrong way, but it's a raid I'm used to, and I could manage to think on my feet, and you get those 3 stars. That's where a lot of your rating comes in. I sort of found from my successes is to go with something familiar that you know you've worked with several times, and in these kinds of very stressful wars you want to perform, you don't want to be letting your teammates down, and you can just control those small variances. I love the use of these loons at the start of this raid. A spell, 4 loons, quite a heavy cost, but look at what they rip out. 3 defences, and that part of the base is smashed. Very ballsy for a first hit. That's all I've got to say with that. Really, really ballsy. So it's smashed out that side for hurting it. He's going to push the Queen the way he wants to go. And you see now the the Golem and the kill squad's going to be coming down just below the Queen. And that should hopefully push her in the middle. So he's quite patient with his kill squad. You see no major rush to get the Valks on the table. Oh, sorry, not Valks, to get the King on the table. It's all the skellies. So that jump, that opens up a huge chunk of that base. 5-point jump. And to do that whilst you've got the raid on and so many different things going on, it's just well done. So again, he's still got a huge amount of hogs left, and that's because he's only taken the single golem. That Queen, those healers, they're getting their money's worth. The Queen's gotten stuck now, but again the raid's effectively over, even with the bacon at the end there. And you can see from saving the hogs and not smashing them all down on the table all at once, that's where he saved it. Well done, TV. So we'll look at number 19 next. Where are we? Now this was Yashal, and what did he use? A Queen Walk with a Govaho. So 4 healers, 7 Valks. I personally don't do Govahos as they're still only level 2 on Bando 82, but by all means they're a very solid army used properly. They absolutely rip through heroes. Dragon Loons in the CC. Good timed poison. That should stop those. Probably might not. Yeah, he's had to pop the Queen. So you've got to make sure you pop that queen before those loons get directly overhead. You do have a couple of seconds, but any good queen walker has timed those perfectly. And then anyone that's done a lot of queen walking hasn't timed them and seen the effect. So he's got his kill squad going in up the top right hand side there. 2 golems, so it's a shattered. Good herding on the sides first before these Valks hit the table. So if that second camp on the left hand side there was still up, those Valks would have gone walkabout. So you can see with the jump, he's pushed his Valks to go down into this direction. Queen's now getting off versus the other queen. So to see all of this at the same time is quite good indeed. To be able to make sure you're keeping an eye on your group of Valks, and to know that the queen was going to hit the other queen, but it's just brilliant. Heaps of hogs left. The queen's still pew-pewing away. Shit, there's almost a full golem. Bit of trash building left. Tesla up top, Tesla down bottom. And this is something to point out. When I'll sort of say it, the opponents at Invictus had 12, was it? 12 TH9, first attempt 3 stars. So really surviving a second, to be able to be hit a second time is what it's sort of aiming for now. So having those little sneaky Teslas in the corner, those kinds of things are always helpful. Where are we going now? Number 23. This was Philip. Philip's gone in with a Queen Walk Overho as well. Slightly different with the numbers there, only the 4 Valks. That's cold-blooded as well, is it? Just the single golem. I mentioned it on my live attack, and I know our bases had some of these, but I personally don't rate the bases with the single barbarian draw. I just think it gives away too much for that one ability. It then allows you to take in a few options, and if it's a golem or a hound, it's a win on a queen walk. That's just a good situation when you're attacking. So for me, I wouldn't use a base like this, but I mean, shit, I got first hit 3-starred myself, so it's all learning. It's all learning. Excellent use of that minion there. Unfortunate that Archer Tower wasn't shooting the queen at the time, but he was just trying to make sure 100% the queen didn't walk off. But she'll end up shooting that anyway. So you see well-timed rage, because the queen will now walk into queen's rage. Possibly might not have needed it. Those are the things when you plan your attacks. You've got to think, well, should I use my ability if desperately needed and hold on to that rage, as I've sort of pointed out earlier in the video. Now, I think he had a wall breaker fail, and that's what he's just made sure he's done the Valks out there. And the reason he's been able to do that is because he's herded early. He's made sure he's got rid of those collectors. Good amount of base with that jump. So the 3 Teslas in that midfield blank area. You see a lot of bases like this now with that empty spot. You don't know whether there's Teslas there, and so the queen's broken in. She's now going to start helping with defences. Heaps of hogs left. Bit of bacon there. That's it. Good raid, Philip. Now, where are we going to look? We're going to look for number 26 next. This was Magatu's attack. And he's gone in with a Golaloon. It's quite different. Like I said, you see a lot of these bases with that open midfield area. So he's removed one air defence. Now he's got low defence cannons, but he's obviously got high defence for the air. Generally the way you take it. Pecker in the clan castle. Now the Pecker and the Queen, they're just going to rip up his golem at the start there. So that golem's gone and dead. And his king's going to be not far behind. And that's where you've got to assess. There was a very simple draw clan castle. You could have got it with one wall breaker even. If a barbarian wouldn't have got in range. So that possibly might have been a better idea to open with that. And then at least he can react to things like whether it's Peckers or not. Now, there's an interesting strat as to why he's gotten rid of the middle air defence. Good amount of movement spells, so I do love me haste when I do me Golaloons myself. Just his choice on his last haste, I think it was. He does these 4 loons here. And not really sure whether that was the best. He's got a shitload of loons in midfield there, and these 2 loons, they do a fair bit of damage. The 2 groups of 2, I should say, but he's just left those other loons to flounder in the midfield because they keep getting pushed back by that blower. But then he's walked away with the 3 stars on it. So brilliant attack, really different style base, interesting. Way he's worked it there, where he's lightninged on that middle air defence. Still had a hound unsplit, but those other split hounds have smashed it with the pups cleaning up. So what do you have? 4 hounds, 1 golem. We've got number 27 next. This is the nose players. Now he's gone in with a shattered go over hose. So this was nice to see. A lot of hogs, 26 hogs. Only 5 whizzies because you don't use a huge amount for your go over hose. So the old test wall breaker. In go the redheads. King comes in. Saw a lot of goblins in clan castles. Still love seeing them. When you look at the stats on the level 6 goblins, they actually aren't bad. Plus the movement speed really can irritate some people. He's only got the 2 heals for his hogs, so you see he's not rushing them down. But this was an interesting part here. He's double hit the heals on this, and I don't know if that was a fat-fingered drop, but with that Tesla farm and those 3 wizard towers, maybe he has judged that's where the Tesla farm's going to be, and he needed those extra heals because they would absolutely smash through the hogs. And you do see it did quite a lot of damage to those hogs. So really interesting pickup and just great to see. But yeah, good raid nose. Right, Right, the last one I want to show for 3 was Tank's Attack on their number 29. And he's gone in with a Queen Walk Go Hog as well. And that's a Shattered Go Hog, so he's taken in the 2 columns. Test wall breaker. You do see, you've got to be careful sometimes with your wall breakers. You do see people use a test, then the Queen shoots the building that they were running at, and that then causes your wall breakers to stray to the next available spot. And you do see that unstick raids, so it's one of those fine things you've got to manage to be able to get out your wall breakers so you're getting where you're wanting to go. But you'd be surprised at how many you see have failed the raid because the wall breakers then pathed off to another building. It's always that fine line you've got to tread. Touch off on proper direction with that rage there. Could have gone a little bit further over, but the Queen sat in the rage for most of the time, so that still worked. Pups are out, and the first poison goes down there, so that's good. He's still got his Queen's ability, which he's using now. So you see those minions. He's getting massive use out of those minions. Now he's had a double set of bombs there. There's one. Now that was a double set. Possibly might have caused a shitload of bacon and caused him a bit of grief. But raid's over. Well done, Tank. Regardless of whether the base is a number 29 or number 9, you know, in these kinds of wars, they're always structured. I mean, shit, their number 30 took 5 attacks. So that was a bit of an evil one. What I'm going to show is something different now is just one attack here. It was a really interesting thing to see, and it's opened up your mind. Where are we? Number 17. I'm looking for number 17. Here we go. Incredible Hulk versus Dothrak. Now, you see he's got 3 air defense down the bottom. He's got 1 air defense up the top. And for me, I look at things like where the blowers are pointing into relation to the Queen and all of these kinds of things. So he probably could have gone in with a stoned golem contingent and then lightning that one and used some loons and dragons to clean up, but he's chose to go in with a, I think it's Shattered Go Hog, and it's a good assessment. It's not a bad assessment of the army, of the base. The biggest problem though was there's 2 blowers here, and they're pointing away. But what's interesting about this is what happens in these organised wars and the thinking that goes into these teams and these better teams, and you can just see the deviousness in this space, and it was brilliant to watch. I saw it live. I've watched it once since trying to find where it was, and it's just devious, and it's caused a second hit on the base where when you're getting half your bases 3-starred off the bat, it's not a bad trade-off. So good hurting to get his heroes in. They were quite easy. Clan Castle, what do we got? Pecker with Barbarians. So they're not really going to do too much. The Pecker will get, oh yeah, he'll get a couple swings off. See the damage they do. Funny thing seeing the old Pecker in CCs. You only ever really see it in organised wars. So the Queen is getting trailed off there too. So a loon or 2 on that arch tower would have been nice. That was a bit of a miss, because they really did rip into that Queen. So you see now, in comes his first hound. It's hit 3 reds, hit 2 blacks. There draws in the more blacks. He's got both air skellies, and even with those 3 hastes and that Tesla farm and 1 air defense, absolutely rip up his air contingent. And you just see he's probably shaking his head going, What the hell happened there? So now he's gone to make sure he definitely saves his 1 star at least, and to open it up anything extra. But these are the kinds of things that you need to start thinking about going to organised wars, and this is why I'm pretty excited about being in these kinds of wars, because I get to learn these things and take it back to my clan. But yeah, it did get smashed on the second attack. I've forgotten who hit it, but they queen walked it, and it was a very easy second attack, but it did the job. It took that one attack and took one extra attack than what my base did. So brilliant raid. I'm sure someone's probably going to end up copying the base, or even the ideas of it. But I think that's about all I wanted to go through, guys. Really exciting war. Happy to be a part of it. Unfortunate to have lost by the 2 stars and a bit of percentage, but nonetheless, we all get better, and it's definitely much better than playing some Chinese modding clan, you know. Organised wars take a lot of effort from both clans. They take a lot of time and preparation, and yeah, it's just good to be a part of. So as always, hope I've helped. Hope you had a bit of a laugh, and clash on.